Have you ever judged someone only to discover how wrong you were? Today's story might just change how you see others forever. If this touches your heart, please hit that like button and subscribe for more life-changing stories that remind us of our shared humanity. The coffee shop buzzed with morning energy as Emma Matthews organized stacks of papers on her table. At 32, she'd finally secured her dream position as principal at Westlake Elementary. Her sleek blazer and perfectly styled hair projected the confidence she'd worked years to build. The peaceful rhythm of her morning planning shattered when a loud crash echoed through the cafe. Emma looked up, irritation flashing across her face. A harried-looking man in his mid-30s stood frozen beside a table, coffee splattered across the floor, a little girl about 6 years old looking up at him with wide eyes. I'm sorry," he mumbled, dropping to his knees to gather napkins while simultaneously trying to comfort the child. "It's okay, Lily. Daddy's got this." Emma couldn't help but roll her eyes. The man's wrinkled shirt was half untucked, his hair uncombed, and the little girl's lunchbox was spilling its contents onto the floor. As a lifelong perfectionist, such chaos made Emma's skin crawl. The barista rushed over with a mop, but the man insisted on cleaning it himself, making an even bigger mess. The little girl's voice rose in pitch. "Daddy, we're going to be late again." "Just a minute, sweetie. I promise we won't be late this time." Emma let out a laugh, short, sharp, and unmistakably judgmental. She hadn't meant to be so obvious, but the sound escaped before she could stop it. The man looked up, his tired eyes meeting hers. For a moment, something flashed across his face, hurt, perhaps, or resignation. He whispered something to his daughter, then stood and approached Emma's table. "Excuse me," he said quietly, leaning down so only she could hear. "Before you judge a single parent's journey, you might want to know what road they've traveled." Emma froze, the smile dying on her lips. Something in his voice, not anger, but a profound weariness, struck her to the core. He straightened up, returned to his daughter, and together they gathered their things and left the cafe. The words echoed in Emma's mind throughout the day. As she walked through the halls of her new school, greeting teachers and students with practiced enthusiasm, she couldn't shake the encounter. The man's eyes haunted her, they held such depth of feeling, such exhaustion. During her lunch break, Emma sat alone in her office, picking at her salad. A knock at the door interrupted her thoughts. "Ms. Matthews? Your 2 o'clock is here. Mr. Parker and his daughter for the new student orientation." Emma nodded, straightening her desk. "Send them in, please." The door opened, and Emma's fork clattered to her desk. There stood the man from the coffee shop, holding the hand of the same little girl. His expression registered surprise, then something unreadable. "Mr. Parker," Emma said, recovering quickly and extending her hand. "Welcome to Westlake Elementary." "Thank you, Principal Matthews." His handshake was firm despite his obvious discomfort. "This is my daughter, Lily. She's starting first grade next week." Lily looked up with solemn eyes. "Hello." Emma gestured to the chairs across from her desk. "Please, sit down. We have some paperwork to go through, and then I can show you around the school." As they settled in, Emma noticed Mr. Parker, Michael, according to the enrollment forms, had made an effort. His shirt was freshly ironed, though there was a small stain near the collar that he tried to hide with a jacket. Lily's hair was neatly braided, if a bit lopsided. "I apologize for this morning," Emma said, surprising herself with the sincerity in her voice. "My reaction was unprofessional and unkind." Michael looked up from the forms he was filling out. "We all have our moments," he said simply. As they went through the orientation, Emma learned bits of their story through necessary questions. Michael Parker was a widower, his wife having passed away from cancer 18 months ago. He'd moved to town for a fresh start, taking a job as an architectural engineer that allowed him more flexible hours for Lily. "And emergency contacts?" Emma asked, following protocol. Michael hesitated. Just me for now. My parents are in Arizona, and Sarah's, my wife's, family isn't involved. The weight of those words hung in the air. Just me. Emma had never considered how lonely that phrase could sound. After the paperwork was complete, Emma led them through the school. Lily gradually warmed up, her eyes lighting up at the library and art room. Michael asked thoughtful questions about curriculum and after-school programs, clearly having done his research. Daddy's really good at math, Lily announced proudly when they discussed academic support. He helps me count to 100 every night. Is that so? Emma smiled genuinely at the little girl. He's teaching me fractions with pizza, Lily continued. But sometimes we cry when we eat pizza because it was Mommy's favorite. Michael's face flushed. Lily, remember what we said about private family things? It's okay, Emma said softly. My father passed when I was young. Pizza was his favorite too. It wasn't true, her father had preferred burgers, but something made her want to offer this connection. The gratitude in Michael's eyes told her it was the right choice. As they concluded the tour at the front entrance, Emma found herself reluctant to end their meeting. Mr. Parker, we have a parent-teacher coffee next Thursday evening. It might be a good opportunity for you and Lily to meet some other families before school starts. Thank you, but evenings are tough. Lily's bedtime routine is complicated since her mom died. We could arrange a playdate with another new student, Emma suggested. During the day, perhaps at the park this weekend? I'm meeting with the Wilsons tomorrow, they have a daughter Lily's age. Michael studied her face, perhaps looking for the judgment he'd seen that morning. Finding none, he nodded. That would be nice. Thank you. As they walked to their car, Emma watched through the window. Michael knelt to tie Lily's shoe, then said something that made the little girl laugh. The sound carried faintly through the glass, bright and clear like a bell. Emma turned back to her desk, a strange feeling settling in her chest. She'd built her life around order and achievement, measuring success in credentials and appearances. Yet in one morning, a coffee-spilling single dad had made her question everything. The next day, Emma found herself driving to the address in Michael's file. She'd told herself it was to deliver the welcome packet they'd forgotten, but truthfully, she couldn't stop thinking about them. The apartment complex was modest but well-maintained. Emma hesitated before knocking, suddenly aware of how presumptuous her visit might seem. Before she could decide, the door opened. Michael stood there in jeans and a faded t-shirt, surprise evident on his face. Principal Matthews? Emma, please. I'm not at school now. She held up the folder. You forgot this yesterday. I thought it might have information you'd need before Monday. Thank you. Would you like to come in? It's not much, but we're getting settled. The apartment was small but thoughtfully arranged. Photographs lined the walls, many featuring a beautiful woman with Lily's eyes and smile. Toys were neatly organized in colorful bins, and architectural drawings covered the dining table. These are impressive, Emma said, gesturing to the blueprints. A project I'm working on. The firm is designing a children's hospital wing. Pride colored his voice. It's why we moved here, the opportunity to work on something meaningful. Daddy, is dinner ready? Lily appeared in a doorway, clutching a well-loved stuffed rabbit. She brightened when she saw Emma. Principal Matthews. Did you come for spaghetti night? Michael laughed, the first genuine laugh Emma had heard from him. I don't think Principal Matthews came for spaghetti, sweetie. Actually, Emma found herself saying, spaghetti sounds wonderful, if it's not an imposition. Surprise flickered across Michael's face, followed by a warm smile. We always make too much anyway. Dinner was simple but delicious. Emma learned that cooking had become Michael's therapy after Sarah died, something concrete he could do for Lily when everything else felt impossible. Lily chattered about her excitement for school, her fears about making friends, her memories of her mother. "Mommy used to say my brain works like a butterfly," Lily explained seriously. "It goes from flower to flower instead of in a straight line." "That sounds like ADHD," Emma said gently. "Many creative people have minds like that." Michael looked at her gratefully. Her previous school wanted to fix her. "I've been researching schools with better approaches. Westlake has excellent support services," Emma assured him. "We believe in working with different learning styles, not against them." After dinner, Emma insisted on helping with dishes while Michael got Lily ready for bed. She could hear him reading a story, doing different voices for each character. Lily's giggles floated down the hallway. When he returned, Michael poured 2 glasses of wine. "Thank you for coming by. It's been lonely, starting over." "I can imagine," Emma said, though truthfully, she couldn't. Her life had been a series of carefully planned steps: college, graduate school, assistant principal, and now principal. She'd never faced the kind of devastating detour Michael had. "That's not true," she corrected herself. "I can't imagine. But I'd like to understand better." Michael studied her for a moment. "Why?" The question caught her off guard. "I'm not sure. Maybe because I judged you so quickly this morning, and I was so wrong. We all make judgments. It's what we do after that matters." They talked for hours. Michael told her about meeting Sarah in college, their dreams of a big family, the devastating diagnosis 6 months after Lily was born. He described the 3 years of treatments, remissions, and recurrences. How he'd learned to braid hair and bake birthday cakes and answer impossible questions about why mommy wasn't coming home. "The hardest part isn't the big things," he confessed. "It's the daily moments, when Lily loses a tooth or learns to ride a bike, and Sarah isn't there to see it. Or when I'm exhausted and mess up something simple, like spilling coffee, and there's no one to laugh about it with later." Emma found herself sharing too, about her perfectionism rooted in a childhood of high expectations, about her fear of vulnerability, about the loneliness of achievement without connection. "I've spent my life avoiding mistakes," she admitted. "But watching you with Lily, maybe perfect isn't what matters most." When Emma finally left, something had shifted between them. Not romance, it was too soon, too complicated for that, but understanding. A bridge across different lives. The weeks that followed brought changes to both their worlds. Emma helped Michael connect with other single parents at school. Michael encouraged Emma to start a weekend hiking club for students and teachers, something she'd always wanted but never prioritized. Lily blossomed at Westlake, her butterfly brain celebrated by teachers who recognized her creative thinking. When she struggled with reading, Emma arranged specialized support. When she excelled in art, Michael proudly displayed her work at home and in his office. One afternoon in October, Emma found Michael waiting outside her office. "Everything okay with Lily?" she asked, immediately concerned. "Lily's great. I actually wanted to ask you something." He seemed uncharacteristically nervous. "The school's fall festival is next weekend, and I'm on the planning committee. I was wondering if you'd like to go together, not as the principal, but as Emma." Emma felt her heart quicken. "Are you asking me on a date, Mr. Parker?" "I believe I am, Principal Matthews." His smile was both hopeful and hesitant. "I'd like that very much." The festival was magical, pumpkins and hayrides, apple cider and children's laughter. Lily ran ahead with her new friends, occasionally circling back to make sure her father and principal were still following. As twilight fell and lanterns illuminated the school grounds, Michael took Emma's hand. "Thank you," he said simply. "For what?" "For seeing past that first impression. For giving us a chance." Emma squeezed his hand. "Thank you for that whispered line that made me freeze, and think." Later that evening, as they watched Lily chase fireflies on the school lawn, Emma realized something profound. Life wasn't about avoiding messes or maintaining perfect appearances. It was about finding people worth spilling coffee with, worth crying over pizza with, worth building new dreams with. Sometimes, the most beautiful journeys begin with a moment that stops us in our tracks, a whispered truth that makes us freeze, reconsider, and open our hearts to possibilities we never imagined. Asterisk: if this story touched your heart, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Everyone deserves a second chance at first impressions, and sometimes the people we're quickest to judge are the ones with the most to teach us. Share this video with someone who might need this reminder today. Asterisk.